When you talk about hip hop extraordinaires who know all there is to know in the business, you know you got to go to Shaheem Reid, writer, editor, manager, overall businessman. Brother, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me, man. We've been trying to do this for a second, so I'm happy we getting it done, man.
Listen, man, it's important. It's important for the culture, and I'm glad that it's a meeting of the minds because you know your sugar honey iced tea.
Oh man, I appreciate it, man. I love everything you got going on in the background. You got the classic mellow jersey. I actually wore that one of my first times being on MTV with my man Farnsworth Bentley out in Beverly Hills. So bringing back memories.
Listen, man, only the freaking classics.
Yeah.
Listen, your journey in hip hop, I've always watched from afar. We have a lot of mutual friends in the industry. But the thing that I like most about it is um, you're a student of your craft. Where did your start and or interest in the business? When did you fall in love with hip hop?
Shoot, it's really as soon as I could really figure out what music was, like my family always had music in their house, man. Like, my mother had all of the records, vinyl. Back in those days, she was playing from like, Luther Vandross and my cousin Yvette. We was huge Tina Marie fans. Um, we at one point we was playing Tina Marie so much, Square Biz. We was playing that record so much over my aunt Yvonne's house that that song actually got banned from the house for about 2 months because
Oh,
we would play it like nonstop every day on the record players. I was real young and just always into it, man. And then I loved it before I even knew what hip hop was. I'm one of them guys that's born into it. Hip hop was around before I was born. So by the time I was born and it's running, and I just remember seeing I think my first is for people in my age bracket, Rapper's Delight. I think that's
mhm.
the first that everybody really sees. Vincent Price rapping on Thriller. He was rapping, so that was monumental. And Grandmaster Flash, Furious Five, The
Mhm.
Message. I'm a little kid at the time, but even though I was just so young, I know that what I was seeing on in the video, the message, and what I was hearing was not like anything else that was going on. Like when I seen that, and just the grittiness of it, the angst, but the celebration of black life and overcoming the struggle. When I saw that, even though I'm super young, I'm still single digits in age at the time. I'm realizing like, yo, this is unlike anything else um that I'm seeing. And of course, being from Queens, I'm from Southside Jamaica, but Hollis, man, you gotta give it up, Run DMC. Like by the time Run DMC started really rolling, then I was like really, really understanding what was going on. Run DMC, LL Cool J, my idols still to this day. And I remember going to PS 223 elementary school in Queens, right across the street from Baisley Park.
Mhm.
And we going on the field trips to like Bronx Zoo and all of that type of stuff. And if you ain't know the words, 2 years ago, a friend of mine asked me to say some MC rhyme. If you ain't know that, on the school field trip, you was corny because we call it the cheese bus, the whole yellow bus.
Mhm.
We were just reciting those rhymes from Queens all the way to the Bronx Zoo. So
That's a long way. That's a long trek to get clown too.
that's what it was. And then let me tell you the real thing that just kind of just blew my mind and just had such a major impact on me. When I was really, really young, man, Run DMC, they was filming a movie called Tougher Than Leather. This is after Crush Groove. This is Tougher Than Leather, like starring Run DMC.
Mhm.
Um, it was a bomb at the box office, by the way. But I love him for doing it.
Yeah,
So
people thought that was Crush Groove too.
yeah, it was totally different. It was more like a gangster story, and they had guns. It was different, but they should have just did Crush Groove too, right? Wouldn't that make sense? Just to do Crush Groove, Crush Groove Part Two. But shout out to Run DMC and rest in peace, Jam Master Jay. We love you, JMJ. And so they're doing this movie called Crush Groove, and they're filming a concert scene at this club called The World. And I'm in New York. I'm listening to WBLS at the time because it was either WBLS or Kiss FM 98.7, 107.5 WBLS and 98.7 Kiss. That's what was moving back then. And they said you can call up to the radio station and win a chance to be in Run DMC's new movie Tougher Than Leather. So, I'm super, super Run DMC, super fanatic at the time. So, me being a little kid, I just called up to the radio. Like, as soon as I heard it, I just called up to the radio station and I got through and won the contest. Like, it's crazy, right? Like,
Yeah.
usually you call up to the radio station and you got to call 50 times and all of that. And, me being so innocent that I am, I just called and I had to put my mother on the phone because obviously I'm a minor, and they gave all of the information, be there at such and such a time, and we went to, now mind you, my mother doesn't drive, and she was, I think, 7 months pregnant at the time with my brother Ari, so her stomach is poking all the way out. Like when I sometimes when Tracy Morgan be showing his stomach poking out doing
Yes.
them jokes.
Yes. Mhm.
Mother's 7 going on 8 months pregnant at the time, and it's a conscious scene, so we got to go to a club. So they're not doing this, even though they shooting it inside, and you could shoot it at any time, and people wouldn't know if it's nighttime or whatever. I guess they was just trying to get the authentic feel. So they said you got to be to the club at 11 o'clock at night. So we're taking this hour train ride from Queens all the way to Manhattan to go to this club. And cause I'm in love with hip hop and Run DMC. And my mother, she takes me to the club. Like I said, I'm still like maybe 9, 10 years old, bro. I'm still super young.
Mhm.
And the first thing I see when we pull up to the club, Jam Master Jay is standing on the roof of the club, and it's about 2,000 people outside the club. We're not even counting what's inside, and it's packed. It's looking like damn near like New Year's Eve outside the club, and Jam Master Jay is just standing on top of the roof of the club, and he got his arms like this, like Superman, just like with a proud look on his face. I'll never forget it. He just so happy, like, damn, look at all we accomplished. So I see that. I'm super hyped up. We walking up to the club because we just getting out the train. We walking up to the club, and I see a gray Mercedes Benz, and I look. I'm like, damn, Run DMC and DJ Hurricane is in the Benz, and it's a little smoky in there. But me being a little kid, not really knowing, I just run up to the run up to the car, and my mother just comes up, and they roll the window down. They see me, and my mother telling, she's like, "Look, I'm pregnant. I brought my son up here. He's your biggest fan." And I don't know how they did it, but DMC just had a glossy. Damn, that's crazy. This is my mother calling me right now. That's ironic. So DMC, he has one of them glossy press photos in the car. I don't know why they got a glossy press photo in the car, but he just takes a photo, he takes it out, he signs it, says be cool, stay in school. Him and Run sign it. I'm on cloud nine. I really could have just went home right then and there, but everything is going so good. We go in the club, let them know that I'm there. And I'm not supposed to be in the club. Like, I didn't really realize this, but I'm 9, 10 years old. I'm not supposed to be in the club. My mother's 8 months pregnant. She's not supposed to be there, but they take us to the green room and before they're filming the concert scene. And bro, when I tell you, I go into the green room and it looks like the Source Awards of the late 1980s. It's Dougie Fresh, LL, Slick Rick, um, Beastie Boys is there. And I'm like, I'm just having an out of body experience at the time, like all of my rap heroes, and it's crazy. And so when it's finally time, like 1:30 in the morning, we go downstairs to the actual club. And I'm thinking I'm in the movie or something like that. I'm actually just an extra in the concert scene. So there's no way in the world, like even if you see the movie and you could do slow motion that you'll see me or my mother. But I was just happy to be in the midst. So I'm just standing, they're doing a concert scene, so I'm just standing in the middle of the floor, surrounded by a sea of people, and they performed Mary Mary for the first time ever. Like because the song didn't come out until that album came out with Run's House and all of that. So they performed, and I'm hearing a brand new Run DMC song for the first time, and it's Mary Mary, and I'm going crazy, and the crowd's going crazy, and after that, there was literally no turning back, bro. It was no turning back. That was it.
Tell me something. The story, I'm seeing crazy B-roll in my brain, and
Yeah.
how you're talking. But I'm curious, in your career, did any of those guys that you mentioned remember that moment that you vividly remember?
Nah, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Nobody remembers that. But you gotta remember Run DMC, they was so on the top of the universe back then. So it's like, I mean, they remember obviously shooting the movie and
Right.
making Tougher Than Leather, but the little kid coming up to the car, none of that type of stuff. And
Figured out. Yeah. No, I figured
yeah,
out. You never know, but I figured that was likely the
yeah,
answer. Shaheem Reid joining us, talking all things
right.
and
And
more.
that was before camera phones and all of that. So I don't even have I think I may have like a picture. My mother might got a picture from the club or something, but I know I definitely held that autographed picture of Run DMC for a long time. My mother got a lot of stuff at her crib, so we
Nah,
may still have it.
I dig it. Listen, you talked about your entry point into it. Um, when was that moment journalistically that you felt that you belonged?
That was really early on in my career before MTV was a big part of my journalism career. Like I did 10 years there from 2001 to 2011. But before MTV, I started at Vibe magazine, and really doing those first initial Vibe stories. I got to give it up to Janine Amber, who was the editor that was giving me great opportunities. Danielle Smith, of course, she's the one who brought me into Vibe and hired me. Kenya Bird gave me my first internship. I worked with Sasha Jenkins, who now is the I'm sorry, the documentary director doing the Wu Tang Mike's and Men. He did the Rick James. He did so many great things with Mass Appeal and still doing them. Minya O, Miss Info, she was a music editor there. So it was just all love. But I remember I did an interview with Steve Martin, bro. And Steve Martin, legendary, legendary. So when I did the interview with Steve Martin and it came out great, that's when I knew, okay, I got it. And you nervous as a young upstart coming into the game. You feel that you could do it, but it's like, until you get on that court and because I was doing writing in college, and I did some great things in college. Snoop Dogg, Keith Murray, Redman. I did great interviews with them, the Locks, in college. But you could drop 40 points at Georgetown, but it's not till you get to the Garden and you do it under the bright lights
Mhm.
with the NBA refs and how fast the game moves on a professional level, and you could do it, and I did it. So after that, I was like, I got it. I, Andrew Dice Clay, who was one of the people who I used to listen to, and his comedy specials. I did Andrew Dice Clay. I did an interview with him, and it was published in Vibe. So those were really the two that turned it out for me.
You're the president of Conglomerate Entertainment. You work with Busta Rhymes. What's that like?
It's a roller coaster. It's incredible because Bus has one of the if not the best work ethic that I ever been around. Like, the guy doesn't take vacations. The guy does shows at all these exotic locations, and it could be the Bahamas, it could be the south of France. He goes there, does the show, and leaves and goes to the next place. Like, some people will want to stay there for like 5 days just to enjoy it. But Bus is always working, and he's always thinking about the next thing, and he's always thinking about just enhance the next level of where he wants to go, artistically and in business. If anybody, this new album, Blockbuster, is an incredible album. It's out there right now. Make sure y'all check it out. But when you listen to Blockbuster, and me being around this guy for over a decade, and countless studio sessions with him, like, even this album, I was amazed because he came up with like different flows and cadences that has never been done in hip hop, or certainly that he's never done. And after 30 plus years of being an MC and doing 10 million songs that have been released, and a lot have not been released, Bus he got a whole catalog of albums that hasn't even come out yet. And just constantly being able to enhance your craft. He's the ultimate craftsman, I would say. So it's inspiring just seeing how the guy just stays working. And he was rewarded for it big time in 2023, which was great during the whole 50th year hip hop, the celebration of the culture. And he was right at the forefront of all of the celebrations. You see what he was doing. I think in like the span of like 3 weeks, he did a show. He did a big festivals and shows with Mary J. Blige, Janet Jackson, and Mariah, something like that, which was crazy. It might have been the Roots picnic. Mariah came later on in the year, pardon me, but he stole the show at the Grammys. We headlined Carnegie Hall, sold out Carnegie Hall. We just did so many great things, and it's so much more coming. It's some major announcements coming that's really going to just shake the whole universe up.
Shaheem, let me ask you a question. You and I, off camera, we connect on the basketball level. You made mention of Madison Square Garden. Um,
Yes,
I'm curious, before we get into nuts and bolts and nitty gritty of the Knicks, but I talked with Funk Master Flex a few months ago, and I asked him about Jay and Nas and just all of that that comes with that. But he made mention of the fact that he thought that Busta Rhymes could take a lot of different rappers on. And I'm curious, from your perspective, to intertwine basketball. Who is the NBA equivalent to Busta Rhymes?
Wow, the NBA equivalent to Buster. Um, that's tough because it's not just the skill set that makes Buster special. It's the longevity. You know what I'm saying? Like the only person that's really had the longevity is LeBron. I guess you could compare LeBron to Bus because LeBron has the longevity, Bus has the longevity, and LeBron his overall game, even though he's the leading scorer and all of this, he has a overall game that's incredible. And Buster, as an MC, he has an overall game, like stage performance, master, lyricist, master, flows, master, beat selection, master, wardrobe, master, personality, charisma, master. So the guy, he checks all of the boxes, just how LeBron checks all of the boxes. So um, I would have to say LBJ.
See, I respect your perspective, but I was thinking a little something different, if I may.
Sure.
So the thing that you said to me that stands out is the longevity, right?
Right.
I also look at Busta Rhymes and I feel like even though his era was his era, he dovetails between the Grandmaster Flashes, Cool Hercs, Cool Mo D,
Mhm.
and the Easy E's and the Snoop Dogs, right? But then I feel like he's the tweener because he's his era with Jay, with Big, with Nas, with Big L. But then he also connects to the younger generation, like from Chris Brown on down. And so when
Yeah.
I look at that and all of that's encompassing, I think of two people.
Okay.
I think of Jamal Crawford,
Okay.
who played but also mentors the younger people, but also is still active in the game because he's on television.
Hmm.
And I look at Vince Carter, who also had longevity, who's
Mm.
on TV and was mentoring the young guys. Do you see
Yeah.
that comparison?
Yeah, Bus, he definitely takes it upon himself to, well, I can't even say takes it upon himself. Well, first of all, I say he's somebody that transcends time. He transcends era. There's a great picture that he took during Grammy week, and it's him and V from Earth, Wind and Fire and Quavo, and he's right in the middle. So it's like, that's quintessential Busta Rhymes right there because he does transcend all of the time. Like, you look at him and Coil Ray, they had the blockbuster, the record players that he jumped in and did the remix on. But then, Bus did a record with her father back in the days,
Mm.
so that reminds me of how LeBron, he's played with some people and he's played with their sons. So,
Right.
he's transcendent, but Bus does take pride in not just being a great artist, but also being a big fan of the culture and of the music. And he shows that love to the younger generation. When you listen to this album, Blockbuster, he has Bia, he has Coil Ray, he has Quavo, he has Blast, he has Moray, and he has the baby, and it's a mutual love society, you could say, because Bus does have a lot of love for these people, and he does want to see the younger generation flourish because he knows that the they are the future and they are the keys to keeping the culture going. Like, we got it generation by generation. We got to reach back and give them the jewels and also give them that love too. Some of the stuff that they doing may be a little different from what we did in past generations, but we got to respect it because each generation is different. So Bus is definitely one of the ambassadors that shows love to all of these up and coming MCs, and it's not just the up and coming men and women that's you know triple and quadruple platinum and 10 billion streams. Like, he just did a record with this guy, Five Mics, who's up and coming, and he's underground, and Bust he did a lot of records with the Griselda cats. He still continues to work with the Griselda guys, but he was doing stuff with them, early on. So all around the board, he shows that love.
In summation, he connects with the British Walkers, the Playboys, and the
Yeah.
Wallaby generation,
Oh man.
all the way to the Yeezys and everything in between.
Oh man. Big up to everybody who all my classmates from PS 223 Queens, because they definitely see me with the Playboys on. I definitely had the Playboys with the little bunny on the side joint. Big time.
Yes, sir. You know what time it is. Shaheem, before we talk about you and Marvel, I
Yeah.
want your perspective on how much that OG Anunoby trade helped your beloved New York Knicks.
I mean, I love it. It just gave him. I saw something on the gram, and I'm not sure if it's true or not, but they said they spoke to somebody on the Knicks, and it said we got rid of all of the softies,
Hmm.
and I wasn't in the locker room with the people they traded, so I don't know if they soft or not, but I know OG brings an intensity that a lot of those other guys didn't have. Incredible. Um, Defensive player. He definitely can be a defensive player of the year if he stays healthy um at some point. And he fits perfectly. I think it was like three straight games. He played like 43 minutes plus. I'm like, man, get this guy a break. But I love it, man. He right in to not just the Knicks, but he fits right into the city. Like he's a gritty guy. He would have definitely been able to play on them '90s teams with Oak and all of them and Mason, because he's a tough dude, and he takes his uh, defensive prowess very serious. And he's a team player. He's not a selfish guy. He's not somebody. He could give you 25 points if you did it, but if he got to go out there and just score 12 points, he's cool with it as long as the team wins. And I think the entire team now, we got the chemistry where we're really, really feeding into, team ball, and um I love it. This is the most hope that we've had in several years.
Like that. I like that. I feel like Steve Harvey and the Kings of Comedy. Well, now that we got that out the way, how did you get your acting chops up to play yourself? And when you were in the Marvel movie,
Oh man, Fantastic Four. That's funny. I actually didn't play myself. I played a guy. His name was Nate, and I
okay,
laugh. I laugh at it because one of my very very best friends. We my family when I was in uh finished 10th grade, going in before the summer, um before I went into 11th grade, we moved down to Newport News, Virginia, and two of my best friends was Nat, but a lot of people call him Nate because it's short for Nathaniel. Ken, we all went to high school together, and Tracy. Those are like my three best friends. And I just had a laugh because they had me playing this guy Nate, who's a reporter. In the first Fantastic Four movie, we went out to Toronto, and it was really just they wanted me to cover the actual movie, and they was like, hey, since you're gonna be here and you be on the set, why don't you just be a reporter in one of the scenes? And we was a reporter when the the thing made his appearance. It was supposed to be New York, but we was in Toronto, Canada. And it was really cool just going to the set of the movie, meeting all the actors and actresses, and we had a great time.
I like it. Actor,
I
reporter.
still got I still got my check somewhere from, I think they paid me like $750 for that day. And I still got
Have a
my
cash deal? You just had a copy of it.
Nah, I got a copy of it. I
Gotcha.
spent the money. Yeah, yeah.
I was about to say because the way this world looking right now, 750.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But that's awesome, man. I admire that. I admire you. I admire every walk of life, how you've shed your light. And I want to give you your flowers because you are important to the culture.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Um, I just try to be a contributor, man. And when we think about the culture and this thing we have called hip hop, we love it, and we got to cherish it, and we got to keep adding on to it. And I just try to do it as much as possible and in as many ways as possible. Like I tell everybody that's coming up that one of the keys to success and the key to happiness is you got to find out what you're passionate about, right? Like, take something that you're passionate about, and then once you find out what you love and what you can't live without, and what you're passionate about, try to develop a talent in that. I don't care if it's being a fitness instructor or a teacher or um a cook, whatever, develop. And you got to put in your work. You got to put in your work and your time and your effort, and develop a talent in it, and just pursue it relentlessly.
I like it. I like it. Motivational speaker. Add that to him as well, brother. Here's the good news. You're off the hot seat.
Oh man, I appreciate it, man. Anytime you call me, bro, we could do more. um Great person to talk to, man. I definitely appreciate you. um how you feeling about my Knicks though? What you thinking?
Well, me and you were talking heavy last over the last few months, and prior
Yeah.
to the move, and I think adding OG and you have Brunson who's healthy. I do think that the Knicks are worthy competition in the higher echelon of talent against the Celtics, the 76ers, and the Bucks. But it's all about the continuity of a season. You don't want to just jump on something that's a flash in the pan. The Knicks have had a successful story, and I don't want to take anything away from that. I still do think that they're one piece away, but I think in this particular season, and the way things look, they have a legitimate chance to make it to the finals.
In our conversations, I always was saying like, damn, I want to get Spider Mitchell. We probably gonna wind up having to wait until um Spider Mitchell is a free agent in 2 years. So, maybe we should just make a move now and just figure it out in 2 years. I'm not mad at Murray from Atlanta. I don't know why Atlanta would want to trade him. I think he's a good building block. He complements, Ice Trade, because Ice Trade don't play the defense like that, but Murray he's a very good defensive player, and he knows how to handle the rock too. So he could help distribute on the nights when Trey Young just wants to shoot like 40 times a game. So I don't know why they would trade him unless they just trying to get that cap space, but I think Murray would be good on the Knicks too.
Yeah, he would fit, and he's a clutch client. And recently, it's been reported that Rich Paul and Leon Rose have made amends. So we'll see what happens. I'm
That
excited.
that kumbaya, that kumbaya.
Mhm. Brother, we got to run, but thank you so
Yes.
much for your time.
Thank you so much, man. It's great to see you, and we gonna keep talking. I'll be back next time I come. We gotta talk about that WWE. I'm a big fan too.
Yes, we will make that
Yeah,
happen. Yes, we will. Yes, I will not forget. Thank you, brother.
it's all love, man. I appreciate you, my brother. Congratulations on everything. The platform is impeccable.
Likewise. Thank you, brother.
All right, I'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir.